Okay, let's get to the main event here. Chairman Chiarelli. Chairman Chiarelli was born and raised in Winnebago County. He is the son of a small business owner and spent more than 20 years working with his father at Vince the Tailor, where Joe learned about service to others and the importance of treating people with respect and honesty. As an alderman, Joe was at the forefront of every major issue facing the city of Rockford since 2013. Being well respected among his colleagues, Joe was encouraged to run for Winnebago County Board Chairman and has served in that role since November of 2020. He lives in Rockford and has been married for 33 years to his wife, Connie. Together, they have 2 adult children and a grandson. And he was a great tailor, and I miss you. But you're doing much more important work, and we're excited to hear your State of the County address. So please join me in welcoming Chairman Chiarelli.
Thank you, Tanya. What a wonderful introduction. You only missed one thing, Tanya. I just can't remember at this moment. But I'm sure Jay Gesimer will remind you. But anyway, it is such an honor to be here today to address the chamber. These legislative series are a wonderful idea, and I give much credit to your organization for doing this. In the last few months or last year, with the pandemic, if everybody remembers what that was, none of this was occurring. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for me to stand up here. But first I want to introduce our county board team and our county administration team that's here. If everybody would like to stand up. So we have Kevin McCarthy, board member, Paul Arena, board member, and also our Republican caucus chair. We have Bert Gurl, board member. He is the chairman of the Public Safety and Judiciary Committee. We got Angela Fellers is here. And our support staff, our administration, I have Marlena Dockin here, Criminal Justice Initiatives Coordinator. We have Pat Thompson as our administrator of the county. We have Steve Gerard, who's from the Building and Zoning Department, building official. And we have Chris Dornbush, who is our Director of Economic Development. So thank you for being here.
And Miss Karen.
Oh, and my assistant Karen, she does all the work. Karen Elliott. There you go. Thank you. So again, I'm very pleased to be here, and we have, the sheriff is in the house too, and he's doing a great job. The mayor jury, he asked me last night, he goes, "How long are you going to talk?" And I said, "I'm not sure yet." And he says, "Well, Loves Park City Council meetings are only 6 minutes long." And I said, "Well, the county board meetings are about 25-30, so I guess I'll talk about that long." Is that okay, Mayor? Okay, so I might sit down for a little bit during the speech because I still have some issues from COVID effects. But in December of 2020, that was a very transitional time for Winnebago County government. New board members were sworn in, and we got Kevin McCarthy here, and Angela Fellers is here. And Brad Lindmark was also sworn in. I was also sworn in as Winnebago County Board Chairman, and what an honor that is for me. I can't tell everybody enough how blessed I am to be your chairman and to be the chairman of this county. I never dreamed in my life that I would reach this level in government, starting as a zoning board of appeals member in the city of Rockford, a precinct committeeman, and then running for alderman, being alderman for 8 years. So please understand when I tell you this is such a blessing for me. It's unbelievable. And I put a lot of effort into this job, and I know my team does every day, because we don't fool around in the county. We want to make sure work gets done for everybody. So at that time, the county administrator was only 4 months into the job also, in about August of 2020.
Yeah.
Our CFO, Dave Rickert, was starting in December of 2020 also. So our entire administration was brand new. So it took a little time for us to get to know each other and to really understand county organization and county business. So, having said that, what we knew then was the culture and the environment was unstable. And coming into a culture and environment that's unstable when you're new, sometimes it's traumatic. Everything you heard in the past, what was going on. But what I found was the board members were awesome. The administration was awesome. So how could it be that everything was so bad, right? So we decided we're going to push the reset button. And that's what we did. We pushed the reset button. In my first year, I wanted to establish several goals for myself and for the county board and the county administration. One was to return stability and trust back to county government, which is very important. Two, to create an environment of empowerment and productivity. To identify our strengths and our weaknesses. To increase capacity to implement the county's strategic priorities and our goals. That was our mission, my first year, and the mission for our administration. It is imperative that we all work together on our common goals and priorities throughout the entire county to provide the highest quality services that our residents deserve. And that is very important because that's who we work for. That's all your tax dollars support us financially, and we need to deliver on that value. So we rolled up our sleeves and we got to work. First, in this presentation, I want people to understand who we are, because that's very important for our success. During my first year, everybody was asking, what does the county government do? Who are you? What do you do? What does the board do? So Winnebago County has a total area of 519 square miles and a population of about 285,300 residents. Unincorporated Winnebago County encompasses about 385 square miles with a population of approximately 56,000 residents. So these are people who are not in a municipality or a village. So those are the people that truly the county board and our county administration really have to understand and look out for what their needs are. Because everybody else is in a village or a city, right? That has mayors and councils. So we are the body that governs unincorporated Winnebago County. So Winnebago County is the 7th largest county in the state of Illinois. And there's 102 counties in the state of Illinois, right? So we're the 7th largest. Within the county, we have 3 cities, we have 8 villages, and 14 townships. That's what makes up our county. The county government has 24 different departments. We have River Bluff Nursing Home, we have Animal Services, we have the IT department, we have Human Resources. All of them make up about 24 different departments. We have 29 elected officials in Winnebago County as county government, not including all the villages and mayors and aldermen, council members. And we have 41 different appointed boards that we have appointing authority over. That's a lot of boards that we have appointment authority over. And those boards are like the airport board, the mental health board, the Winnebago County Health Board, the Rock River Reclamation District, that's known as the Four Rivers District now. We have a lot of boards, cemetery boards. And these are all important boards that you want qualified individuals who want to serve, who are productive in our county government. In 2021, the county board voted to approve a balanced budget and kept the levy flat. That is your tax rate. That is very important. Winnebago County collected over $154 million from all revenue sources in 2021. In 2019, Winnebago County had the 7th largest gross domestic product in Illinois. That was approximately $13.8 billion. So we are vital for the state of Illinois. We're the 7th largest, and we had the 7th largest GDP. That's a big reflection on their business community, our manufacturers, everybody who makes products or services. That's huge for our county. The county share of your tax bill, if you live in Rockford, is on average about 7.4% of your entire tax bill. Now, all the services that we provide, we want to make sure that 7.4% of your tax bill in Rockford is of value. And we provide a lot of services in this county. In 2021, our total expenses were $151,335,000. Your tax dollars go to fund our core essential services and many other departments, as shown in the slide. Going back to March of 2021, the American Rescue Plan was signed into law and Winnebago County will receive around $54 million. Winnebago County administration is working with the county board, elected officials, department heads to utilize these funds over the next 3 years to strengthen our county and address areas affected by COVID-19 pandemic. What we said in the administration was, we need to put the oxygen mask on Winnebago County first, and then we need to help everybody else that we can, because we cannot be crippled as a county, and the pandemic was crippling our county. So we have to support ourselves first, our core services, and that's what we're projecting to do. Recently, the county board approved a 4-phase plan to implement projects and capital improvements. Phase 1, current projects underway are new election equipment for the county clerk. The IT department is getting much needed upgrades. The Emergency Operations Center technology upgrades. The sheriff is receiving new vehicles. The circuit court clerk is receiving $680,000 to digitize all their records. And the county board will be approving more allocations in the near future. But we have everybody in mind, and we understand what we're doing with that money, and we're going to make sure it goes to good use. Also in January 2021, Winnebago County and Winnebago County Housing Authority partnered to apply for the U.S. Department of Treasury's Emergency Rental Assistance Program. The partnership was formed because at that time, the county had very little capacity to write, apply, or manage for grants. We still have very little capacity. That's one of the major positions that we need to fill in this county. Luckily, we have board members that understand that we need to have a contract with somebody who can write grants for this Winnebago County, for all our departments, because I'm tired of leaving money on the table. Right? We need that position, and we need it filled. I want to thank the Housing Authority for their help in helping us receive that grant. For them, when I first came into office, the grant was sitting on my desk in December. I looked at it, I said, I went to the administrator, I said, we need to do something with this grant. There's a lot of money here for our people and citizens. He says, yeah, we do. He said, but we don't have a grant writer. So I asked everywhere in the county, who will help us write this grant? I can't write a grant. Right? He said, talk to Paul Arena. Paul Arena's in the housing business. Maybe he knows somebody. Paul and I figured out that the County Housing Authority can help us. And that's what we did. And they sure delivered for us. The program provides COVID-19 related residential rental assistance to landlords and tenants. That first grant award was for $8 million in March of 2021. And the second award for $6 million more dollars. Now, it's been turbulent. It was hard. We weren't set up to run rental assistance in the county. We had a lot of complaints, but we had the goal in mind to deliver those funds to landlords and tenants who have had a horrible time with COVID-19, especially the landlords. They were owed thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and were ready to be bankrupt. So this money was very important for us. To date, we've dispersed over $8 million of that money. We're dispersing $300,000 a week. And the program is estimated to end in June of 2020. We'll talk about the Winnebago County Core Services here so everybody gets a little perspective of how big the county government is and what services they provide to you. First is the Sheriff's Office and the jail. Second is Public Records Administration, the County Clerk, and the Treasurer's Office. Not because the sheriff's here, but it's a very important department. But more importantly, have a county board that understands the issues in this county is very important, and boy, do they understand it. So the county is an administrative arm of the state of Illinois. As a non-home rule county, our county board members serve as an executive and legislative role that address our community needs by making local policy decisions and enacting laws as allowed or required by the state of Illinois. Why is that important? Because we are an administrative arm of the state of Illinois. We do not have autonomy. When they tell us to jump, we have to say how high. When they tell us you have to fund this particular issue, we have to fund it. We have no choice, right? So that's very important for everyone to understand. County government is an administrative arm of the state. And when they mandate hard, right? Luckily, we have legislators that understand that now. But all these unfunded mandates will cripple a county, right? So we have to be very cautious of that. Winnebago County consists of 20 districts. Each board member represents approximately 14,250 people in Winnebago County. The county board recently approved by unanimous vote a reapportionment plan in December of 2021. It is required by the state of Illinois and the federal government every 10 years. The results of the 2020 census showed a reduction of 9,788 residents to 2010. We have to do better. People are fleeing our county. We have to do better for the state of Illinois. This is why more pressure is on all our tax bills and all the departments. Our sheriff's department has many divisions, which include the patrol division. They patrol all of unincorporated Winnebago County. They have the right to go with any jurisdiction in this county. That's a constitutional office. They have a detective bureau. They have a civil service processing. They provide courthouse security, the corrections department, and the jail. So if you think about that, all those services that the sheriff's department provide, we have to appropriately fund that department. Inside the jail, the sheriff and Rock Valley College have partnered on new training programs for inmates. I'm very happy for that, and I'm very proud the sheriff is making that happen. CNC TechWorks and cold forming training have been added to the list of educational services, helping inmates get a jump start on a new life. And with the help of the new mental health sales tax, the much-needed mental health services have been expanded in the jail. I don't know if everyone knows this, but the jail is the number one, the largest provider of mental health services in this county. Think about that. The sheriff oversees the county 911 center. They just recently had technology upgrades to to improve the productivity and be more effective in their response. They also have the crisis co-response team. Give credit to the sheriff for being one of the originators of that program. That has shown very positive results, getting the appropriate mental health help that people need it at the time they need it. The sheriff is also the director of the County Emergency Service Disaster Agency, the ESDA, which ensures preparedness and response in the event of a large-scale disaster. Everybody remember the Rockton fire at Chemtool? That was a large-scale disaster. A lot of agencies responded, and boy did they respond in the best way possible with no loss of life and protected the residents and all the people in our county from that disaster. So I appreciate all of them. I'm proud to say that all the police agencies are collaborating to address rising violent crime in our community. Our goal is for greater collaboration and partnerships to reduce the violent crime for the future here. And thanks to the mayor of Loves Park for your collaboration on that, and to the sheriff, and to the city of Rockford are collaborating on a lot of different things to help reduce that violent crime. So, has everybody heard of what happened to the coroner? So you heard all the responsibilities of the sheriff. So I called up the sheriff. I said, Sheriff, we have a problem. He says, how can I help? I said, well, I need you to run the daily operations of the coroner's office. And he said, I got you. Right? So the sheriff's office is providing oversight of daily operations at the coroner's office due to the coroner agreeing to be placed on administrative leave in 2021. The only reason he had agreed to be on administrative leave was because I locked the doors and I turned off his internet service. And then the sheriff towed his car. Now, was it legal? I don't know. I can tell you this, nobody else is doing anything. Right? So we had to take a shot. We did bring the state's attorney in, and he also said, I said, is it legal? He said, I don't know. So we'll call Guy Spinello and lock the doors, and we'll see what happens. Because there was no clear legal path to place an elected official who has been indicted for crimes related to their office on administrative leave, I'm happy to report a change in Illinois is coming soon. The bipartisan legislation developed in response to the indictment of the coroner is unanimously passed the Senate and is now in the House. Thank you for all our local legislators for their quick response in making that happen. That is a huge relief for the corruption that's in the state of Illinois. And we need that legislation to happen. When the Sheriff's Department was assigned to those duties, Deputy Chief Mark Carner did a great job by getting the office back up to capacity. And we were all deeply saddened by the untimely passing of Mark Carner. So as you can imagine, it had been a very stressful year for the employees of the coroner's office. My administration and the county board are committed to providing the resources and staffing that office needs, so they can provide the best service they can for our citizens. That office was in shambles. Congratulations to Rebecca Strasser and James Kirby. Both were sworn in earlier this month as new deputy coroners, and I also want to congratulate all the other newly sworn deputy coroners. We have some exciting news that we'll be bringing forward in the next week about the coroner's office, so everybody just hang tight. I'm also very proud of all the employees in there, all the deputy coroners, everybody that's involved in there, the investigators. They're doing a great job, so thank you for your service. Another constitutional office we're mandated by the state of Illinois to have is a county clerk. The county clerk is in charge of elections, taxes, vital records, and board records. Another constitutional office, which is mandated, is the county treasurer. Among some of its duties are collecting property taxes, dispersing funds, investing the surplus funds of the county, and maintaining all financial records. And finally, to present a final accounting detail and settlement at the end of the year. Those are our mandated core services that we have to provide for the citizens of Winnebago County. Now that I've given you an overview of the county responsibilities, I want to give you more detail on the top 3 priorities for Winnebago County. That's public safety, economic development, and infrastructure. I'll start with public safety. This is the largest part of what the county is responsible for, and also the number one concern of all residents. Public safety at the county level is so much more than just law enforcement. It's a complex, interwoven group of departments, as shown in the next slide. This table shows the structure of the criminal justice system across all levels of government. You have the city, county, state, and federal up there. The county has a footprint in 7 of those 9 justice system branches. The criminal justice is mandated and it's a mandated obligation by the state of Illinois. And it's a responsibility that my administration and the county board hold in the highest regard. That's why I established the Chairman's Office of Criminal Justice Initiatives in 2021. The Chairman's Office of Criminal Justice Initiatives advances solutions to our criminal justice issues by looking at the system as a whole. My director, Marlena Dockin, works to align systems and services increase capacity to respond to the criminal justice system needs, and to ultimately reduce crime and recidivism in Winnebago County. We align systems and services through the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council and its multidisciplinary teams. The Winnebago County CJCC's goal is to provide coordinated leadership that identifies and addresses criminal justice issues. And on the slide, you'll see the 4 MTDs, the 4 teams that we work with constantly. I can't even imagine not having an Office of Criminal Justice Initiatives for Winnebago County. The great work that Marlene is doing to align all those justice systems, it's incredible. We've never had that. The other thing we're doing is increasing capacity in multiple ways, one being fund development through grants to increase services to address high-risk offenders. Since April 2021, over $2 million in funding has been secured by the Winnebago County criminal justice system, and more importantly, by Marlena. We expect this growth to continue. Part of that $2 million includes funding for a grant compliance specialist that will help with our capacity to provide administrative help and support for the criminal justice system. One of the newly funded programs that will reduce crime and recidivism by focusing on our high-risk offenders, which is an evidence-based practice. Through our office, Focused Deterrence Reentry Program, we have several partners: the State's Attorney's Office, City of Rockford, law enforcement, probation, and the Illinois Department of Corrections, and a local nonprofit that provides a navigator service to high-risk offenders. This is very, very important. This is where myself, the sheriff, the police chief, all of our different partners get together in a room with all these offenders that have been just let out of prison or on probation. And if you want to see some action with the sheriff, how he talks to these individuals, to really let them understand we will not tolerate any of this reoffending going on in this community. Second, we have a Violent Crime Reduction in Illinois Communities Award. We'll provide 4 navigators and a call center coordinator to work with the high-risk individuals during weekend and evening hours. The Innovations and Supervision Award expands evening hours to 8 p.m. for the Resource Intervention Center. And lastly, Winnebago County is the fiscal agent for the Project Safe Neighborhoods program with our partners in the U.S. Attorney's Office. That partnership has funded a special prosecutor for the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office, which is very important. I know this is not sexy stuff, but this is important stuff because it impacts the quality of every one of your life and your businesses to make sure we get this violent crime under control. And these initiatives are very important to do that. We also have the 17th Judicial Circuit Court. That consists of 12 circuit judges and 15 associate judges. I want to congratulate Judge John Lowry as our new Chief Judge of the 17th Circuit, and also thank Judge Doherty for his past service as Chief Judge. Recently, the County Board voted not to demolish the public safety building. That's a good thing, to be able to reuse and repurpose that building, and to explore repurposing options. So we are in the process of working with the 17th Circuit on coming up with a comprehensive plan to utilize that building. That building has been vacant for years, and it cost the county around $600,000 to keep that building heated and everything, electricity. Imagine having a building that you own that costs you $600,000 and there's no revenue coming in from it or no use for that building. And I'm so proud that the board voted not to demolish that building and try to come up with a comprehensive plan. We also have the State's Attorney's Office as the prosecution arm of the criminal justice system. I appreciate working with our State's Attorney very closely, Jay Hanley, addressing violent crime. A current success of our partnership is the gun court, which will be implemented this spring. It's a specialty court and intends to break the cycle of violence by providing swift prosecution. The goal is to hold high-risk offenders accountable while providing them the skills to become productive citizens. I also want to recognize the hard work of the Public Defender's Office and the Probation Department. This past year, the administration and the county board identified a need for a communications director. We never had one. I'm proud to announce that Danielle Grindle is now the Director of Communications for Winnebago County. She serves as public information officer when an emergency operations center is activated by a disaster declaration. And just get that in perspective, I had to sign 3 disaster declarations last year alone. One was for the COVID-19 pandemic, early on when I became chairman. The second was the chemtool fire. And the third one was when the pandemic, the virus was raging over 20%. And that caused the state of Illinois to wake up and the federal government to send resources to Winnebago County because our health systems would not wake up and tell me or the county what they needed for us to help them. So we signed a declaration of disaster, and guess what? Federal help came, state help came. All they got to do is ask. All they got to do is ask, and we'll help them. So we're very proud that Danielle is aboard, and because of those disaster declarations, during COVID, or to the chemtrail fire, when the governor called me and said, what's going on in Winnebago County? I said, we have a major fire. He says, I can see that on TV. What do you need? I said, I don't know what I need. I really don't know what I need. But send you everything you got to us. He says, have your PIO contact the state PIO. I said, well, okay, I'll do that. Well, we didn't have a PIO. My assistant Karen now became the PIO. Right? So that's why it's a very important position. So congratulations to Danielle on the birth of her daughter, Delilah Elizabeth. Now that I've given you an overview of our public safety and criminal justice system, I'll move on to the highlights and goals of economic development. I'm sure everybody here is happy to hear that. The economic health of our county is imperative to our success. There are many factors that affect the business climate in our county. Some of those include the public safety and perception of safety, cost of doing business, land values, taxes, utilities, labor workforce, infrastructure, water, sewer, transportation. I'm sure you all know all about that, and that's very important to you. While always viewing our county budget through fiscally conservative lenses, I know we cannot cut our way into prosperity. I also know that the best way to keep the county's portion of your tax bill low is by growing our tax base. The county board recently adopted a comprehensive economic development strategy for 2021 and 2025. That is a valuable guiding policy that allows us to leverage funds for economic expansion. We all know that demand for housing is high, indicating a strong market for new residential construction. To date, more single-family home permits have been issued in the first 2 months of 2022 than at the same time in the entire 2021, with an approximate valuation of $1.1 million. That is great news. Currently, 2 large-scale multifamily developments in Cherry Valley and Roscoe are in the beginning stages of development and are projected to create an approximately 90 new dwelling units. Solar permits at our all-time high. 10 years ago, you wouldn't even believe this, but solar permits are at an all-time high. 254 private solar permits were issued last year alone, and as well as 2 large-scale commercial solar permits located on Baxter Road and Trask Bridge Road for a total valuation of almost $6 million. These 2 solar farms are going to put electricity back into the grid. Renewables are the fastest growing segment of energy production. We are currently exploring the solar potential of county-owned properties on our North Campus to offset operational costs to be more green. Sip. Okay, economic development trends. I'm happy to report that new project development valuation for Winnebago County increased $101 million in 2021 over 2020. That is based on the value of all county-wide building permits. And as planned, growth is occurring in the I-39 Industrial Park and other areas of the county. Last year, Amazon joined FedEx and Burger Foods in the I-39 Industrial Park. They are building a 141,000 square foot last mile facility, making over a $20+ million investment and creating an estimated 300 jobs. Thank you, Amazon. We love you for that. We need that area to grow, and we want to make sure that we have the ability to make that happen. S-Wing is investing approximately $11 million expanding their Rockford facility, adding 46 new full-time jobs. The county's total incentive on that deal was $189,000. Ingersoll is building a giant Magellan telescope mound. They're adding 40,000 square to their building, 25 new jobs, and an estimated project cost of $12 million. The county assisted in this expansion with a 9-year tax abatement, approximately worth $65,000. The village of Pecatonica utilized the county host fee loan program. It's a new program, and the amount of $525,000 to develop a multi-industry front. That 13 acres is going to be worth $6 million development for Pecatonica. That will increase their tax base, generate additional sales tax, and add 60 new full-time jobs. So thank you to Pecatonica. I also want to congratulate Mike Dunn and the Chicago Regional Airport Board. What a phenomenal board. I'm honored to have the appointments on there also. What phenomenal growth. As just reported in 2020 study, the airport is generating $4.7 billion in economic impact and roughly 8,000 jobs. Now, if you remember what I said about the 7th largest in 2019 for GDP, geez, this airport is amazing. This is a jewel that most communities don't have. So thank you so much, Tanya, and you serve on that board. We have 2 new financing tools to develop properties and grow businesses in Winnebago County. One I'm very excited about. It's called the Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy Ordinance. It's CPACE. In 2021, Winnebago County Board adopted a countywide ordinance which enables commercial property owners to obtain up to 100% long-term fixed rate financing for energy efficiency and renewable energy building improvements. This was brought to my attention early on last year and brought it forward to the county board later, a couple months later. It is already being utilized to bring the first privately owned energy efficient building to downtown Rockford in 25 years. A $6.4 million investment. Thank you. There are also 2 more development projects occurring right now. I get at least 1 phone call a week from somebody in Winnebago County wanting to utilize CPACE. What a great tool. And there's only so many of them in the entire country. There's not a lot of people, not a lot of communities have adopted this. The largest CPACE deal was in Michigan ever. Hundreds of $1 million. And for not that CPACE, that would not have occurred. We also have the host fee loan program. This is a flexible zero interest loan that can be paid back over 25 years. Its purpose is for business development, creates an economic opportunity for all the municipalities through our intergovernmental agreements. And Pecatonica was the first to take advantage of that. Now on to infrastructure, very important part of our quality of life and ability to grow our tax base. How am I doing, Greg? Too slow? Or Mayor, are you awake? Are you awake, Mayor?
They just fixed Riverside.
I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. I had to say the important stuff first. Economic development cannot occur without the proper highway infrastructure. As you can see in this slide, Winnebago County Highway Department is responsible for the maintenance of many bridges and miles of roads, as well as recreation paths. For 2022, we are investing $5.8 million on infrastructure projects listed on the slide. One of them is on East Riverside, which is a phase 1 of engineering there, right? From Material Avenue to Sage Drive. The county secured about $5.5 million so far for that project, and the engineering will begin this year on that road project. Very important for, I think, 3, we got the county, the city of Loves Park, and the city of Rockford in that corridor. Okay. So the county road projects are funded by property tax and motor fuel taxes, which have been decreasing year by year. I mean, being devastated. People driving less. We're getting less tax money in our property tax because people are leaving the county and more properties are vacant and abandoned. But anyway, Winnebago County has more infrastructure needs than available funding. My administration and the county board are in the process of identifying a sustainable funding source for our infrastructure needs, which would include a long-term capital improvement plan to manage our infrastructure. We have to figure this out. I know there was a lot of talk a couple years ago of putting a plan together, but Carlos Molina, our highway engineer, desperately needs money for our roads. We have so many highway systems and roads in this county that we need to get fixed and we need to get repaired. And it's just, we have to come up, so I'm pleading with the board members, let's get our stuff together and let's get this done. And I know we will. All right, let's plan for the future here. Some initiatives I'm working on with the county board. We're working on water, solid waste, and blight. We're working with the Winnebago County Health Department and Region 1 Planning Council to develop a water resource management plan to address our community-based water systems and their vulnerability. This has been a priority for Winnebago County for many years, and I'm excited that we'll be bringing this forward soon. The plan will include a strategic approach that will ensure water quality and quantity is equitable for all citizens in this county. Right? We have a lot of vulnerable wells in this county, and there are people drinking waters that are high levels of contaminants. And we have to come up with this plan in order to work with the federal EPA and the state EPA, because we have no plan. And when you don't have a plan in the county, the feds and the state people look at you like, well, get your act together first. Come up with a plan. So that's what we need to do. We're also working on a plan with New Milford and the Four River Sanitary District to bring water and sewer west of I-39, because it's on the east side now, of Baxter Road. This will ultimately spur growth and development and jobs in that corridor. Right now, they have no utility service over there whatsoever, and they have a lot of abundance of land. That I-39 corridor is the fastest growing commercial corridor in the state of Illinois, with Rochelle and all the way up to 250, to the border of Wisconsin. We have got to get our act together and get that water west of that 39 so we can spur more development. Right now, we have 2 more major projects to be announced coming soon, where Amazon announced. Because Amazon went there, now we have 2 other major manufacturing facilities that want to be nearby. That's one follows the other. So that's great news for us. Winnebago County and Boone Counties have partnered to update our regional solid waste management plan, which will include a waste to energy report. Currently, over 2.3 million tons of garbage is buried in the Winnebago landfill each year, and it's expected to reach a capacity by 2034. Now, out of that 2.3 million tons, guess how much comes from Winnebago County? Half. About 1 million tons. That means outside garbage is coming into our community, filling up that landfill so fast. I don't believe it's going to make it to 2034. They're on cell 4 or cell 3 or 4 of cell 6 cells. They're almost to Baxter Road or to I-39. That's problematic in my eyes. We got to figure out what we're going to do with our garbage. If you're burying it now and there's not going to be a new landfill, because I guarantee you Winnebago County won't site a new landfill. Federal government won't allow you to site new landfills anymore. Cook County has no landfill. They're bringing all their garbage here. So what are we going to do with our garbage? We have to put it somewhere, or we have to do something with it. This plan is going to identify solid waste to energy and solid waste to fuel. We have to be very progressive in figuring out what we do with that garbage, because I will not tolerate being buried anymore. I get so many calls from residents down in that south area about the smells and the water. Thank God we have a good partnership going right now with the Winnebago County landfill. They are really partnering with us, and they're really doing a good job. And they're confined by what they're contracted to do. It's not their fault. They have agreements, they have contracts, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, right? But it doesn't make it right that the people in that area have to suffer during the summertime with the smell of garbage. And if it was only for Winnebago County garbage, that landfill would last for another 40 years. So That's why it's important to me. The need for future waste reduction and diversion is vital. Our goals are to reduce landfill dependency, explore technologies that will convert waste to energy and waste to fuel as part of the solution to handling solid waste for future generations. Support economic development and the quality of life for our residents. Reduce adverse impacts of waste materials on human health and the environment. Those are our goals. We are near completion of that plan, and we will be bringing it forward to the county board soon for review and adoption. That's one plan where I called the EPA when I first came into office. I said, what's going on with that landfill? Why am I getting so many calls? What is the EPA doing? And they said, look in the mirror. You haven't had a solid waste management plan updated for 15 years. I said, oh, I get it. Okay, we got to get it done. We're also currently working on we're working to create a blight initiative plan to identify and improve blighted areas in unincorporated Winnebago County. Again, the unincorporated areas, there is no blight plan. There is no blight policy. The structure of Winnebago County government is we have a planning and zoning department that handles certain areas of neighborhood standards. Then we have the Winnebago County Health Department that handles other areas. And then we have the state's attorney, who's the prosecutor in all this thing. So you imagine this love triangle that's going on here for blight, and it's not efficient. The process isn't smooth. So we have all this blight occurring in Winnebago County, and we got to do something about it. All other villages and cities have blight initiatives and blight plans, but Winnebago County, we don't. So we are going to. I guarantee you that. So we're working with the state's attorney, our economic development department, and our health department. We are reviewing all our ordinances to improve our blight response process while building capacity to address blight in unincorporated areas within and near municipal borders. They deserve it, and we're going to do it for them. We're also exploring options and incentives that may offer a repair solution to cash-strapped homeowners to help them come into compliance with neighborhood standards. We don't have any kind of plan like that. In Winnebago County alone, hundreds of properties qualify each year for blighted or illegally abandoned under the state of Illinois. This past year, several hundred of those properties have been successfully transferred to private hands through, what's called the land bank and the trustee program. We have so many properties that people have not paid their taxes for 3 or more years, and they end up, the county becomes the owner of that deed, right? Those are the properties that nobody wants, and the county ends up having to take a deed on it. We are selling those at auction. We are disposing a lot of them, but we have so many empty little lots that are worth basically nothing that we have a deed to that we have to maintain. We got to figure this out, and then thanks to Paul Arena and other board members, we're putting our minds together on this. This is something that just is foreign to me, coming from the city of Rockford as an alderman, and then coming into the county and seeing that this type of programming is taking place. So, I know Greg will be happy. I'm about done, Greg. I don't. Is there any aldermen here from Loves Park? Is it true they're only 9 minutes? Do you do any business? The Pledge of Allegiance and prayer takes us 9 minutes.
Very efficient.
Paul, are you hearing this, Paul? Do you hear this, Bert? Kevin, do you hear this? Angela, do you hear this? Good. All right, and so in conclusion, we have many challenges and issues facing Winnebago County, but we also have many strengths, and those need to be celebrated. We are not unique in those challenges, but we are unique in the fact that we have the best staff, the best employees, and the best electeds in our county. I want to personally thank the 1,400 plus Winnebago County employees for their outstanding service that they provide each and every day for our residents. We will continue to provide outstanding service by being fiscally conservative in our approach to implement our priorities and goals, which I have outlined today. Today, I want to announce that the state of the county is strong, stable, and productive. Thank you very much.